Welcome to what I suspect will be the last ever episode of the Your Way podcast. So, do not worry, I am not going anywhere. But those of you who are like generally around and notice my stuff will have recognized that there has been a little bit of a shift in some of my messaging, in what I'm talking about, and in what I am doing. And that also means that I need to, or would like to, or have chosen to shift up and rebrand and change the podcast as well. So I thought I would take this opportunity to chat you through some of the changes, some of the why, and the direction of travel for the rest of the year. So I talked about in my emails and in earlier episodes that I feel deeply called to be a little bit bolder and challenge some of the things that I see in society and in the systems we operate in, I think are keeping us stuck, sick, operating not at the level we are actually designed to operate at. And I have talked in previous episodes around stuff like the systemic controls, things that try and keep us scared, the challenges with food supply, with healthcare system, the quality of the soil. Avril and I think, touched upon in our episode education system, or if we didn't, we certainly talk about it offline. And what I have recognized through my own work is that you go on this personal development journey, and the personal development journey is at its very core, like it's the journey home to ourselves, right? To our true selves. It's the peeling back of the layers to uncover, okay, well, who am I at my core? Why am I here? What is it that I'm here to do? What are my innate gifts? Now, one of the things that I wasn't really anticipating as I kind of peeled back the curtain and looked at stuff is that there was that is that there was going to be this like spiritual side of me, okay? This deeply intuitive, sometimes psychic, very connected, nature loving side. And the more that I have like come back to myself, the more this has come online. And what I am now recognizing is that this stuff that might feel metaphysical or a little bit unusual, this like the deep connection, the psychic, the dreams, the intuition, all of this stuff is really just me returning back to my natural place. And so then the more that I look into this, the more I'm like, well, actually, all of our natural places is to be using so much more of our capacity and capabilities than we currently are. Which then takes me down these rabbit holes of like, why are we suppressed? Why aren't we using this stuff? Why are we in these systems that keep us controlled and pushed down and shut down and all of the rest of it? And so I really want to be bolder around this because I really see my work as, first of all, shining a light on some of this stuff, but also being the person that holds those of you who are a little bit like, you know, the good girls gone rebel, the good guys gone rebel, to hold you through your missions of, I don't like the way this system operates, and I actually want to be part of the change that makes this system work better for the world. So whether that is the food supply, the way corporates run, the education system, the banking system, like whatever it is, I see my work as preparing you for that work because you can't go and do your big work in the world if your nervous system shuts you down, if you haven't got the capacity for it, if it creates so much stress in you that you burn out or that it makes you sick. Like you have to have a certain amount of internal resilience to do that work. And that is where I'm taking the business. Now, there isn't actually a lovely, universally understood phrase around what it is that I'm talking about. Okay. There isn't a universally understood phrase about like coming home to yourself, being in touch with your psychic gifts, your intuition, like the guidance, accessing your higher mind more often, and doing all of that from a place where you aren't stuck in scarcity and lack, as the delightful systems would like you to be, but you are much more in a place of abundance, in much more of a place of like, we're all connected, unity, consciousness, all of this stuff. Now, some people use the language of consciousness. And some people use the language of things like light workers and star seeds. Now, the language that I have chosen to use is the language of witch. Okay. So, witch as someone who is deeply connected with nature, with themselves, with their psychic gifts. Um, for me, I see myself as like a green witch, which is, there is that connection to the five elements. I'm really interested in things like herbs, like the natural power of plants. I love all things nature. I love the moon cycles. I love the sun. I love astronomy. And so it's like that level of connection to myself, to my surroundings. And I also think it's really, really important that those of us that are doing this work are very well resourced. Okay, we need to have plenty of time, plenty of energy, plenty of money so that we can do our big missions. Because if you are spending all day, every day panicking about money, you are not using your energy to create the big shifts you need to do in the world. And so I don't fully know what the next podcast will look like, but the new program I am bringing out that will come out, well, it's out now, but like we start in March, is called Wealthy Witches, the Mission, right? Which really encompasses all of what I have been talking about. Really encompasses getting to that place of recognizing the work you are here to do in the world, feeling ready to deliver that work in the world, really kind of steeling yourself for battle, but it isn't battle that's like that corporate toxic masculinity, push, 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 push. It's like it's powerful, but it's soft. Right? You've done the hustle, you've done the burnout. This is doing things differently, but this is just very much more of a like, yeah, this needs to happen. This is what I'm here to do. And I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it harnessing the collective energy and support of everything that is available to me, whether that is like an earthbound resource or it's something a little bit more ethereal. So there will be links, there will be stuff going around. I didn't want to make this a super long episode today. I did just want to kind of lay the foundations of things are changing. I mean, I'm still the same person. I still want you to do things your way, but I am going to bring more of that kind of spiritual side into the work that I do and spiritual science as well. So things like quantum physics, metaphysics, the idea of multiple timelines, multiple realities existing at once, the idea of like creating our reality and things that are incredible, but also quite mind-bending, but completely necessary as we go through this phase in our evolution. Like either you feel it or you don't, but a lot of you are feeling it. This phase in the evolution of we are really at a point where we are raising our collective consciousness because we're kind of like shit or bust, right? I don't think that's the right phrase. I'm not even going to try and do it again because I don't know what the right phrase is, but it came out and I was like, that's not the right phrase. But we're at this point where it's like we're either gonna hit the self-destruct button on humanity or we're gonna turn things around, right? So I just want to be in the camp of let's try and turn things around. And I think a lot of people are awakening at the moment because they also have that mission. It's like it's time to turn things around. So if this has resonated with you, if you are curious, if you want to know more, like the links won't change. The podcast, I imagine, description will change. The images will change. I'm actually recording this at the start of February. So like it's all currently in the pipeline. So you will still get notifications and stuff. But I just thought it would be useful to give you a little bit of a heads up on why I'm talking about things differently. I don't think I've lost my mind. I think it's all very sensible, but it's all very much not the mainstream, right? And again, this is partly where this new program comes in, because in order to be able to talk about this stuff and go against the mainstream and be like, yeah, but this is how I feel, and it doesn't accord with like the rule book we got handed down, you have to have your nervous system in a certain place, because otherwise you will freeze, it will shut you down, you won't be able to do it. So I mean, I'm excited to journey along with those of you who choose to come with me. If you're listening to this and you're like, she's lost it, I'm out, then I send you love and it's okay too. But keep coming back, because you never know when your thought process is going to shift. If I had listened to me 6 years ago, I would have thought I was an absolute nutter. And today, I do not think I'm an absolute nutter. Tomorrow, who knows? Right, I'm going to leave it there. That is what I have for you today. Wishing you very well, and I will see you next time. Maybe on a new podcast. Ciao.